love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, Jago, health and lifestyle coach and not-so-regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. Y'all, I literally cannot believe it. A new decade is starting tomorrow. Like 2020, where are you at? I cannot believe this. I don't know about you guys, but it has just been such a crazy, crazy blur of a decade for me, and I hope that you guys are excited for the year to come. I'm so glad that you could jump in today and just take some time with me to reflect. So we're going to do a lot, and I think that you're going to be able to take some of the things that I talk about here and apply them to your own life, apply them to your goals for 2020, and really just create all that you really want for yourself in this next year, because that is why I'm here to help you. I'm here to show you that it is possible to live that dream life. And to do that, today we are going to talk about how to create your vision board and help you see clearly for 2020. Play on words right there, a little 2020 vision. Not in hindsight, though. We're going to do this ahead of time. We're going to do it now. So what we're going to do is do a year in review. I'm going to talk about my biggest lessons of 2019, everything that I've learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whoop. Excited for that, right? And 3 things that we're going to talk about for letting go as we're going into the new year, 3 elements that we want to bring into the new year, and then really action steps behind that, because I truly think that having a vision for your life is so powerful. Like, I truly think that if you're just going into this year not really sure, just like, I'll just do more of the same, or I don't really know what to change or how to change, so I'm just not even going to think about it, that is not the way we should go through life, because I feel like that's like putting a blindfold on our face and just walking forward. I want you to clearly see, what do I want my life to look like? How do I want things to change? And it is so powerful to have that vision for yourself, and that is a part of creating that true life that you want to live. And it's having that vision, but not only just the vision itself, but the action steps behind it. So we're going to dive into what that looks like. I'll be using myself as an example, put myself out there and let you guys kind of learn from me, so then you can really take that and learn for yourselves. So here we go. All right, the biggest lessons I learned from 2019. I got a lot, but we're going to start with just my 5 biggest ones. So the first one is done is better than perfect. This was huge for me. I think it's so easy for us to get caught up in wanting the perfect fitness routine or the perfect job or the perfect project or whatever it is that you're going for. We want it to be perfect, but the truth is it needs to be done. We got to get it done, and sometimes that done is better than perfect, and you end up getting more accomplished than you thought you ever could because you really just dove in and took that messy action. So if you're a perfectionist out there, I feel you, but that is a lesson that you need to learn. Done is better than perfect. The next one, this one's huge for me. Girl, stop apologizing and just do you. So I don't know why, but especially as women, we are constantly apologizing for our thoughts, for our emotions, for being overly emotional, for having too much of an opinion, for being too energetic or eccentric about something, because that's taken as aggressive and negative and bitchy. So I'm here to tell you to stop apologizing for that. If you are feeling emotional, if there is passion within you, freaking let it rage, girl. Stop trying to stifle it. There's a reason you have that drive and that passion within you. So stop apologizing for it and start going after it. Start feeling it and letting it take over your life and watch what happens. Like, girl, you better watch out. It is amazing what happens when you stop apologizing and holding yourself back and just start going after what you want. So that is something that I learned for myself, and I highly recommend you take that lesson into your next decade because it is very powerful. The third lesson that I have was truly, like, the more I invested in myself, the more I could invest in others. You guys, I've talked about this before, that I'm a recovering people pleaser. I was always trying to do so much for other people, and it was very easy to put my own needs and desires on the back burner. And I was afraid to invest in myself. I was afraid to invest in my health. I was afraid to invest in my business. I felt like that was selfish. I felt like it was, who am I to do that and to put money into myself? Like, that's really selfish, or that's stupid, or just all of these lies that I was telling myself for so long. And then when I finally did, oh my gosh, it was amazing to see the energy that I was able to pour into other people, whether that be my clients, my family, my relationship with my husband. Everything was just clicking because I was able to connect with myself more. I'd invested that time into myself, that money into myself, that space for me, and it gave me so much more room to invest in the other people that I care about. So if you feel like taking time for you is selfish, I'm telling you right now that making an investment in yourself is never selfish. It always goes beyond you. It just takes time to start making those steps towards investing in you and saving some time for you and not putting yourself on the back burner to help your brain recognize, like, okay, this isn't bad. This is a good thing. And so many of my clients I work with have that mom guilt, or just guilt in general, of not being able to take some time for themselves because it's taking away from other people. But the truth is that is not the case. Take the time for you. It's going to leave more valuable time for other people because you're going to be able to have more energy towards that. So that's a huge lesson for me. And it was very, very important to invest in myself physically, mentally, emotionally. All of the investments, do it. Can't stress that enough. The next lesson, this was, okay. So worrying was like a thing. Comparison is a thing. I've talked about comparison before. I know so many women come to me with that as an issue of just comparing like their lives on social media, or comparing their bodies to other women, and all of that struggle. And the truth is, the biggest lesson I learned this year was the less I compared and worried about what other people were doing, the more I focused on my goals and my vision. And it got me so much closer to where I want to be than any other time in my life, because I was not worried about the person next to me. I was really just honed in, focused on what I wanted for my life and what I truly believed that God created me to be. And that was a game changer, because instead of thinking that it was a competition, or that I was always below someone or above someone, like, guess what? When you are focused, there is no behind or above. You're just there. You're just there, and you're grinding and you're doing your thing. And it is so empowering because you're not allowing your environment to put you down. You're not allowing other people to put you down. And I can tell you that it is one of the most empowering things to be able to have that laser focus and let go of comparison and worrying about other people. Like, stay in your lane, keep moving, okay? Other two lessons, let's go. Oh, okay. So, all right, another lesson that was hard for me was that relationships have seasons, okay? So, recognizing that it is okay to have relationships in different chapters of your life, that maybe the definition of that relationship changes, or maybe you need to set a boundary or take a step back from that, and that is okay. Just because you're doing that does not mean you do not care about the person. It does not mean that time that you did have together was good. Like, I want you to recognize that the relationships might change, but it's really, you need to take that time for you and take stock in those relationships. Like, am I in a toxic relationship? Am I around friends that are bringing me down? Like, who do you spend the most time with? Those, you hear that all the time. Like, who are the 5 most people that you spend the most time with? And that is who you're the most like. And that is so true. So if you find that you are stuck in this negative space, and then you look around you and that's the type of people that you're hanging around, it is okay to take a step back from those relationships and focus on you. If you care and you believe that person cares about you enough, then say that and tell them that you need to take a step back, because if they respect you at all, or they care about you at all, they will understand that. And if they don't, then guess what? That's okay. Dr. Seuss says it best. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And it's very, very true with relationships. So if there's some toxic relationships, or just relationships that are not serving you right now, be honest with them and open with them, and take a step back when you need to, because there is no use trying to make things work that maybe aren't meant to work at this point in your life. Whew, that's a fun one. And finally, this one is a big reminder that I'm constantly reminding myself, is that fear is just a lack of faith. So I've been taught my whole life the importance of having faith in God and the universe for your life, and having faith in yourself and in your family and in others. But if you are constantly in fear, you are not having faith in that situation. So if you struggle with worry and fear constantly, I want to remind you that the more you lean on faith, the more you can let go of that fear. And that's been a huge step for me. I'm able to lean into that discomfort and just dive in, like jump off the cliff, go after it, because I was like, there is no point in having that fear when I can have all of my stock in God and all of my stock in faith and feel so surrounded by that, and it will lift me up, opposed to fear that is just going to put you down, right? Do not allow that to happen in this next year. Do not allow fear to hold you back. Whenever you're feeling that fear, that means that the faith that you have in yourself is lacking, and you need to go back into that and remind yourself of why you are freaking awesome and you are absolutely going to crush your goals this year. All right, now it's your turn. What are the biggest lessons you've had for 2019? I want you to, if you're driving, save this question for later, come back and listen to this. If not, I want you to go ahead and pause this podcast and write down the biggest lessons you've had in your life for this past year, biggest lessons you've learned, biggest takeaways, write it out, and then come back. I'll see you again. I would love for you to screenshot at this point before you write it down, share that you're going to be writing your biggest lessons, and tag me in it, and feel free to DM me if you would like to share those biggest lessons. So go ahead and pause now, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I hope you came back with lots of reflection and lessons you've learned. If you don't have a million things, it's okay to just let your brain take more time. Some people take different time to reflect than others. I know, like, example, Tom and I definitely process things very differently. I want to get everything out there right away, say it all at once, and he is someone who likes to take a day and process it, and we've been able to find that balance in each other and respect that we each of us process things differently. So I respect that for you. If you need to take more time with it, feel free. Don't get frustrated with yourself if you are trying to go through this activity with me, okay? Come back to it when you are ready. The next thing that I'm going to dive into are what 3 things I'm going to be letting go and leaving behind in 2019. I kind of talked about this with lessons, but it's really nice to get it down to 3 things to let go. This can be with mindset, behavior, habit, relationships, etc. Basically, anything you feel like you need to let go. I truly believe that a lot of times going into a new year, a new chapter, a new season in your life, it's really about what you need to let go rather than what you need to add on. It's not always about adding on more and more. A lot of times the first step is letting go of the weight that's holding you back, right? So we're going to start with that. I'll start with my 3, kind of dive into them. So the first thing that I really want to talk about letting go, I spoke about it earlier, was negative relationships. So any relationships that are holding you back, I think that is so important to let those negative relationships and exchange them for supportive communities. Find communities that share your passion and values and are going to be lifting you up in what you want to accomplish this year. So that can be through social media platforms, it can be Facebook groups, it can be meetup communities, it can be in your neighborhood, it can be with the school, whatever it is. Find them because they're out there, but you need to a lot of times release the negative relationships first before you can start diving into those positive, supportive communities. So that's the first thing that I'm definitely talking about leaving behind in 2019. The next thing is paralyzing perfectionism. So I've talked about this before, hashtag recovering perfectionist, like to the point of like procrastination, right? So being so stuck on perfection, I'm going to trade that in this year for taking messy action daily. So I've done that so much this past year and seen the fruits of my labor of just diving in and doing the ish, even when I'm not exactly sure what the outcome's going to be. And it has been so amazing for my life. So I'm just going to do more of that going into 2020. So having messy action daily. So that is something I'm going to be working towards. Highly recommend it. So instead of thinking like I can't do it until it's perfect, until it's all planned out, be like, hey, I'm going to do it when it's 70% done. I'm going to take that first step when I'm not exactly sure of the outcome on the end of the thing. And that is going to really help you just kind of letting go of the outcome and just knowing like, I'm going to take some messy action. I called it messy action because it's probably going to be messy, and that's okay. When you release that idea of it having to be perfect, takes a weight off. So that's a big one. And then finally, another thing that you can release and leave behind in 2019 is constant comparison, right? We get so stuck on comparing our timeline to someone else's, where we're at in life. Like so and so from high school just got married or had a baby or had a big job, something, or went on a vacation or did this, that, and the other. And guess what? Like if you're stuck in that mindset and you start to realize you're going down that rabbit hole of like, well, they're better than me, or where are they at in my life? And I'm so behind, I'm so behind, I'm so behind. If you're stuck in that, stop, take a break from all types of media and just go off in your own self. Take some time to journal on the accomplishments you've had, the things you're very, very thankful for this year. Like you made it through this year. Like that in itself can be a huge accomplishment. Don't belittle the fact that you worked hard and you got through this year. That's huge. And then go from there and build yourself up on those smaller accomplishments, okay? You are on your own timeline. Everyone is on their own timeline. Try really hard not to compare your timeline to someone else's. So I am trading in comparison for consistency and staying in my own dang lane. Like beep, beep, get out of the way. I'm not going to worry about you. I'm just going to drive. That is my thought and mindset and vibe around 2020. And I hope you feel the same dang way, because it is so freaking liberating to just stop worrying about other people and just do the dang thing. Okay? Just do it. That's all I got to say. Just do it. So ask yourself, what do I need to leave behind in 2019? Again, it can be habits or patterns or mindset behavior that you're stuck in. It can be relationships. It can be anything that you feel like you want to let go of and leave behind in 2019. Take some time, write it down, and burn it. Like, let it go. Get rid of it, because we are on to bigger and better things. And I want you to take that time right now to write down those 3 things that you're going to be leaving behind in 2019. All right. So if you're back with us, welcome back. I hope you took some time to think of those 3 things that you're going to be leaving behind in 2019 with your mindset, behavior, habit, relationships, whatever it is. I'm glad that you're taking the time to go through this with me. I know it's quite a process, but it is very powerful to do this and have that year in review and reflect on your past year in order to go into this next year just with amazing, amazing lightness and excitement and just the right mindset going into everything. So, this next piece, as we go into 2020, I want you to know, ask yourself, what 3 elements are you bringing into 2020? So, what energy, vibe, mindset, all of that, like what are you going to be bringing into 2020? A lot of times people like to pick like a word to focus on. You can think about what habits or action steps you want to take to support these different elements you're bringing into it, that are really going to help make up your 2020. So there is something on your mind that you feel like you want to change about yourself, that you want to add into your life, some shifts you want to make. Like, what is that energy? Like, what word can we put to that as far as bringing into 2020? So you're going to take some time to do this. I'll give you kind of like some word ideas to start with. So it could be like tenacity. Like that's something I want to bring, where I'm not backing down. I'm really driving forward regardless of fear and anything that's holding me back, whether it's like fear or thinking that I'm going to fail or any of those thoughts. Boom, I'm going to do the dang thing anyways. Laser focus. So that's something I'm going to be bringing in, is focus this year. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I know who I want to help, and I'm going to do it focused. And finally, having a heart-centered mindset. So that is something where I continue to just coach and have relationships with people that come straight from the heart. It is something that I pride myself in with my relationships with my clients, is that I will go above and beyond for them because I care so much about their success. I care so much about them believing in themselves and realizing that they are so much stronger than they think. And when they find that strength from within them, like that is something that I truly like. It lights me up, like lights me up. I freaking love it. And so just continuing to have that heart-centered mindset and heart-centered actions behind everything I do in my business. So when I'm making changes, when I'm taking steps, always coming back to my heart, because it gets really easy to get caught up in our head and caught up in thinking that we have to just keep up with the Joneses, and that is not what I'm about. So those are the things that I'm going to be bringing into 2020. Those are the elements, those are the vibes, that's like the energy that I am ready to bring. And I am excited to hear what your words are. So if you have some words, some focus, some elements that you want to bring into 2020, tag me in those words, and let me know, message me. I would love to hear it. And then once you have those, ask yourself, what actions or habits will you take to support them? So if you are saying that you want to be more disciplined with your routine, so have a more structured routine that can be with like your morning routine, your fitness, your meal prep, whatever. What actions or habits are you going to take to support that? So, are you going to have weekly grocery trips? Are you going to have an accountability buddy? Are you going to have a gym membership you need to set up? Are you going to have some workout equipment you want to have at your house? Are you going to set some boundaries at work with when you're going to be leaving work every single day, or for the most part? Are you going to wake up earlier and have a set alarm for when you're getting your workout in? Like those action steps are what make changes. So the vision and idea of what you want is so amazing, but the real secret sauce is in the habits. It's in the small steps. And that's not super sexy, but it is what works. All right. It's about behavioral change and habits that you need to establish to create routine and rituals that stick. That is something I teach my clients in Body Confident Blueprint, the idea of breaking down your day, what you're currently doing and what you need to be doing in order to reach the best version of you. And a lot of times, this is the point right here where we get stuck, right? We have an idea of what we want for our lives. We have this vision of where we want to go, but it's just the action steps that are a little bit messy in our brain. Where do we start? What do we do? Where do we do first? Do I have to do all the things at once? How do I do all that? And then it kind of piles on top of itself of like overwhelm and anxiety and like, I can't do all of this. This is too much. I could never do this. No wonder I couldn't do it last year. And it's like the doubt seeps in and the fear gremlins come in and they tell you, like, you can't do this. Who are you thinking? You're crazy. Let's just start this maybe mid-January when it's less crazy. Let's wait till maybe springtime after it's less cold. Like it's like all the excuses start to come back and peek through. And I'm telling you this now because I know you're at that point where you're like, I'm super motivated. But the truth is, it's not about motivation. It's about discipline in creating those small habits, having an action plan set up for you, and establishing like what patterns do I need to break and which ones do I need to make in order to have a successful year. Okay. So this one's a huge one. If you haven't taken the time for what you want to bring into 2020, go ahead and stop now. Write about what those energy, mindset, word, whatever it is you want to focus on for 2020, write it down. And then just jot down some habits and action steps that you're going to be taking to support that. So I'll give you a second. Go ahead, pause this and write it down. I am so glad you are taking the time to do this, or that you're bookmarking and making a mental note to come back and do all of these because you know it's going to make such a big impact on your new year. So, with this vision board that we're going to talk about, so how to create your vision board. Okay, so you just wrote down what elements you're going to be bringing into 2020, right? And I talked about the action steps. So having action steps behind what you want to bring into the new year. So asking yourself, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And by when? So give yourself a cutoff point of when you need to get it done, whether it's like setting up a gym membership or getting like your schedule together for the week or whatever it is. I talked about it earlier. I want you to figure out what you need to do and what action steps you need to take. So once you've gotten some action steps down and we're really diving into the visualization side of things with starting your vision board, I want you to ask yourself, so you've written out everything, you kind of have it in a good space, and then you're asking yourself, what will your life look like 1 year from now? So get deep. What will you be doing more of? What are you going to be doing less of? Who will you be spending time with? Who are you going to spend less time with? Your 2020 year, you are going to take whatever current changes you're making and then really dive into it. Where do you want to go with your life? What do you want that to look like? The more imagery, the better. The more real you get with it to where you're truly visualizing yourself at that point in your life. It's December 2020. Like, this is what your life looks like now. You've had the best year ever. What does that look like for you? I want to know. I want you to write it down and create that visualization based on that. I usually like doing this with some good music in the background and just completely like free write. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes you don't even know what comes out. Like the fact that, oh, spoiler alert, I'm going to be hosting a retreat next year in 2020 is amazing. I'm so freaking stoked for it. But like this came out of a vision board that I had about a year and a half ago. So I was just writing and I realized that that is something I truly felt like I was called to do. And now it's going to be happening. Starting this podcast, this kind of derived from having a vision for my life and knowing that I wanted to speak on this platform. And if I had not taken the time to do that years ago, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I can't stress this enough. Take the time to have that space for yourself and visualize where you want to be. And then if you're a visual learner, you can literally take this into a vision board format. So those are the ones you see on Pinterest and all that fun stuff, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, done is better than perfect. So just dive right in. Take some words that have been sticking out for you as far as like the elements you want to bring into the new year. Take some photos, some pictures, some places you want to go, some things you want to see more of, some like personality, some mindset, some habits, whatever that is, throw it onto the vision board and watch what happens. It is so cool to have that just somewhere in your office or in your room, just somewhere that you're seeing on a consistent basis, because it's going to help you remind you where you want to go with your year. And so this visualization is key. I hope you take some time to do it. I cannot wait to do this with my girls. So if you are in my free Facebook community, I'm going to be doing a live training on this and you'll get more information about it in the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined yet, make sure you click the link in the show notes that talks about my Facebook community. The free Body Confident Blueprint Facebook community is where you want to be. Make sure you get in there by the new year so you can make sure you're not missing out on the vision board that we're going to be doing together. Cannot wait for that. Now, I know I'm leaving you with the homework and the task of doing a vision board and having that reflection for your year and where you want to go with this new decade. But I also want to remind you about the importance of those action steps that you need to have written out and bullet out, because if there are no action steps that you're taking, like implementing ASAP, like this week that you're going to be doing, then it's going to be really hard for you to hit the ground running. So what is something you can do today that's going to get you closer to your goals? What are some things you're going to get done by the end of this week that are going to help you get those goals? Having some short-term goals are what's going to help you get to that long-term success. So I cannot stress that enough. If you need more help with this, make sure you're in my Facebook community. I'm going to be diving into this more with some live trainings, and I do not want you to miss out. I also have been having some questions about like what's available now with me as far as like the capacity of working with me in 2020. So we have a lot of exciting things coming with Jago Fit and Body Confident Blueprint. So what is available now? If you're interested in working with me in the new year and really starting your year of success and having a plan, and not only just creating this vision board, but having someone to give you the accountability and the wherewithal to like implement all of these things, that is where I come in. So I do have some spots available for one-on-one coaching with me with my Body Confident Blueprint method. I think it's very powerful for you to start your year off strong, and I would love to support you in that capacity. All you would have to do is apply to work with me, and we can hop on a discovery call, talk more about what that would look like, see if you're a good fit for the program, and then go from there. We'd get started in January, and I would absolutely love to work with you. So go ahead and apply today and just see if you're a good fit. I think it would be great. The next enrollment for my group coaching program, Body Confident Blueprint, is going to be mid-February. So we'll be opening up BCB 2.0. I'm very excited. It is a group coaching program, and I'm only going to be doing 2 to 3 rounds in 2020. I had some people ask if they're able to do one-on-one coaching and then also BCB group coaching with me, and the answer is yes. If you're interested in doing both, we can set it up to where you're working with me one-on-one, and then you're also going to get to go into the Body Confident Blueprint group if you are accepted upon enrollment. So super important that you just apply and we can get on a call and see what is right for you. I truly only take people who are a good fit, and I only put you in a spot that is the best for you and your goals. So some people are a very good fit for group coaching. Some of them are really only good for one-on-one because they have very specific goals, and that's great. And some people like doing a combo, and I want to make sure we figure out what is best for you. Really focusing on taking back your confidence, creating your body goals for you, not for anyone else, not for society, but for you. And then I'm also be incorporating some retreats and workshops this coming year. I am so excited. Make sure that you are in my Facebook community, on my email list, and continuing to like and subscribe to this podcast. So if you have enjoyed this, if you try out the vision board, reach out to me, let me know. If you have not yet left me a review, I will talk about this later after this, but I would love for you to do that. And what I want to see is, what would you like to hear me talk about in 2020? What topics do you want me to go into? What struggles are you still working through? What would you like more clarity with? That is why I'm here. It's for you. So let me know, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here, and honestly, don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at JGoFitLife. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.